So I have a horrible boss story, and it was actually one of my first jobs, so I was a little naive, and I was hired as an executive assistant, but it turned out to be much more a personal assistant, where I'd take his daughter to gymnastics class in traffic, feed his dog. I had to fire the maid, and let's see, what else? He would insist on calling me at 3 in the morning because he was on Paris time if something was wrong with a reservation. So it was just not an ideal situation.
I had a boss who had really long nose hair and would lean over your shoulder to type on your computer, putting his nose hair right in your face. He once spit food back out onto his plate in a meeting with investors and would lose his temper and scream in the middle of public places.
I once had a boss who would frequently call meetings that were, 2-3 hours long, and she would publicly humiliate people in front of their coworkers. I knew quite a few people that left in tears and ended up quitting.
На предыдущем месте работы начальник мой установил камеры наблюдения в офисе и наблюдал за всеми, но при этом он никому об этом не сообщил. И люди не знали, что за ними наблюдают.
I had a boss who would not let me use his private bathroom. I used it one time. He sent out a memo saying that all employees were to use the public restrooms. Well, that place is disgusting. He was truly a horrible boss, and I quit that very same day.
I once had a boss who asked me to lunch. I'll change the name to respect his privacy. He asked me to lunch as John and met me at lunch as Mary. Nothing against pre-op transsexuals, but it was just an odd way to find out that the man or woman you're working for is not the gender you think he or she is.
My worst boss story is one day when there was 8 inches of snow on the ground, and my boss sent out an office-wide email that she wanted everybody to work from home because the roads were so treacherous, except she asked me to go in just so that someone was there to answer the phones.
I once had a boss who called me into her office and got mad at me for being too friendly and too happy in our office. I didn't know that you could get in trouble for such a thing.
I had a boss who the only way to communicate with him was through Facebook to get anything done. So if he was in the other room and I tried to call him, he wouldn't answer. But if he wrote on his Facebook wall, he would respond immediately. So that was kind of a difficult situation in order to get a hold of my boss.
I once worked for a woman who thought that she was the epitome of style, and she would love to stomp over everybody else's self-confidence. One day, one summer in England, I walked into the office and she told me that my legs were so white that she was going to have to wear sunglasses all day. Made me feel great.
My worst boss story is my first week of work. There was something that I did not know how to do. So I approached my boss and asked him to show me how to do it, and he just said that no, he didn't have time and couldn't find anybody else to teach me how to do it.
I once had a boss who would routinely follow men into the bathroom, and then when he was standing at the urinal, would just put his hand on your shoulder. It's kind of creepy.